Friends, I have been given the task of summarizing all the presentations done. So let me start with Abhay's presentation. Abhay feels that there could be about 6% GDP decline of the world. So the world seems to be in recession. Indian crop, 1.97 million tons. Low prices encouraging farmers to reduce selling. Price, he feels, will remain range bound. Drop in consumption definitely, almost to the extent of about 20%. And exports, Abhay feels, could be lower by about 10% during the current year. Thomas from Aberdeen Bole, Europe not in the pink of health. GDP as far as Europe is concerned could be lower by about 7.5%. Unemployment is again very high at about 9%. Overall economy is down. Brexit and other such issues not helping matters. Demand for castor would remain more or less stable because Europe is a very, very stable kind of an economy and they've reached a certain saturation level. So he doesn't see demand getting contracted big time, maybe 5 or 6%, that's about it. Then Vivian from Hengshui feels that all the economic stimulus and all which has been given in China to boost domestic demand could have some effect on their economy. As far as castor oil imports by China is concerned, they feel that it could be lower by about 12%. Last year was lower by about 26%, and this year it could be further lower by about 12%. So China demand in the last few years is contracting. Logistics was a big nightmare during the lockdown times, and that actually prompted a lot of buyers in China to stock up on inventory because they were not very sure as to how they would be able to cover their stocks because of the logistical nightmares. Price outlook, nothing much, but she feels that it is important that India or the world stocks up on inventory just to help the Indian farmer, which will in turn be helping themselves. If the Indian farmer is disillusioned and they cut down on the castor production, then that could be disastrous for the industry. Next was Harish Bhai, and he came up with a wonderful presentation on what C has been doing for sustainability issues and for ensuring that the farmer interest as far as castor is concerned is maintained. And the other intervention from C is for helping recharge groundwater. In fact, Gujarat and Rajasthan, where we are active, has a tendency of having drought-like situation. So if you're able to recharge the ground level or at least show how it can be done, it should go a long way in helping the farmers in this region. Sailesh probably confused everyone. He gave a crop number of about, didn't contradict the C crop number, and along with carryover, he gave a figure of about 2.2 million tons would be available for crush. Till now, about 0.5 million tons of beans have come in the market, leaving almost something like 1.45 to 1.47 million tons, still with the farmers, or as Tevon says, the provincial traders. So it could be with the provincial traders or with the farmers. So when they will be selling is $1 million question. He feels that the arrivals over the year would be much more spread out. Unlike the early years when you could see the flush coming in the first 2 or 3 months, this year could be much more evenly balanced, which should ensure that the oil availability for the buyers would be around the year. And again, he feels low prices could discourage farmers from planting. And this is one refrain which even Tevon was referring to, that the farmers, because of these low prices, could actually be more enthused to plant food crops, where the government minimum support price or the intervention prices are available, and the monsoon being on time is also probably not good for castor planting, because castor actually thrives when in a drought-like situation. If the early rains are not there, then probably farmers have no option but to plant castor, which can be planted right up to August. This year, monsoon looks to be in time, and you could see a lot of cotton and land going into cotton and groundnut. So that is something which we'll need to watch. Exports could be dropped. There could be a drop of about 10%. As far as the bullish or bearish factors is concerned, he gave both. But my gut feel is that he was probably feeling that the bearish factors might overshadow the bullish factors. So the underlying theme of Sailesh's presentation was that it's not going to be a bullish year, and speculators will be well advised, speculators or for that matter the adventurers would be well advised to keep away and allow, as Tevon says, castor to be a good year for all of us. Tevon, then after that we had Ravi speaking from USA, and Ravi feels that the US demand could be a little below normal. US normally buys about 57,000 tons on an average castor oil and about roughly 18,000 tons of derivatives. And being a stable and an advanced economy, there's not too much of a swing as far as their demand is concerned. But this year, Corona-induced recession has been a massive drawdown on the American economy, and he feels that the American economy could actually contract by about 5.6%. Compare this with growth of about 3% last year. This is a huge number, and the swing is almost something like 8.5%. And for a big economy like US, 8% or 8.5% drop compared to last year is humongous. And I'm sure it must be reminding a lot of economists of what happened during the Great Depression in the early 30s. So let's hope we don't have that kind of a depression or recession. Unemployment rate in US is currently about 13.3%. Economic outlook is not hunky-dory. So overall, demand could contract a bit. Things are not very good. Tevon, as usual, was different. He feels this could be one of the best years as far as castor is concerned. Prices could be remaining much more stable, and demand should also not contract too much. It could be the demand contraction may not be more than 5%. It's only the supply which could be in for some trouble if the farmers and the provincial traders decide to hold back the beans and not offload them in the market at the current values. So it would be better that you keep buying and keep selling instead of going either too long or too short. So it's a year when you have to play with very low positions. That's all from my side, and it was a wonderful presentation from everyone. Now, Mehta ji, it is back to you, and you can take over from here now.
I have received many questions. So my request to the speaker, please reply very brief so that we can take the maximum question. Now, first question to Mr. Abhay Udesi. India is producing hardly 5,000 tons of sebacic acid. Why India is lacking in production of sebacic acid? Is it technology constraint or any other reason?
Well, China is way ahead of India in terms of manufacturing of sebacic acid, with its lots of experience, and as it stands today, or even 5 years ago when India started making sebacic acid, China's scale of production has been very high, and China had in the early days no control on pollution. They had no control, they were really, there are instances where China has dumped the product into the global market, thereby establishing their kind of a monopoly on sebacic acid. So China has got a distinct advantage in terms of, the history behind manufacturing of sebacic acid. At the same time, now with the new environment norms that are also existing now in China, but with the scale of operation and with a lot of support from the government, from the domestic government, from the local government, China is in a much better position in terms of supply of power is concerned, or in terms of other chemicals that go into manufacturing of sebacic acid. India, though it's in a better position as far as supply of castor oil is concerned, but the element of logistics between India and China is bare minimal when you're comparing the prices of sebacic acid. As I say again, China with the history, their products are well established. They have a big scale of operation, and that is why they still stand, on the positive note as far as the supply is concerned for sebacic acid. Thank you.
Thank you, Abhay. The next question is to Mr. Sailesh. When do you think the market will move upward and the range? And second question to, do you think with low price would be a higher demand from the international market?
Yeah. First question. Yeah. To answer your first question about the price, I think if the price remains at a reasonable level, it's good for everyone. If the price increases, hello?
What is the reasonable level?
No. What it is at current level of $1,100 or something, that is a reasonable level as of now. And if the price increases, if the farmers hold back or the stockists are active and they try to stock more being the lower level, I feel the story of last year again may get repeated, and they will wait for the price to increase, and maybe they have to give up finally, because it's not that they have to recover from sell at current price. If someone is stocking seed or oil, they have to recover the carrying cost, interest, all these things also. So if they are buying at X price, they have to recover all the cost, and they should make enough money out of that. So I feel the prices may remain range bound this year. The situation due to COVID and uncertainties would not allow the prices to move up, and enough supplies will not allow the prices to move down. So I think this year, as Devon said, the prices should remain range bound. There is not enough scope to move too much up also. And what was the second question?
Do you think with the low price, there would be higher demand from the foreign markets?
Yeah.
The low price, whether there could be a higher demand?
Yeah, there can be a higher demand from the foreign market, but that also, as I explained in my presentation, that can be increase in inventory level. The consumptions may not increase because that will again depend on the sales of the end products, which no one seems to be very positive. So at lower prices, the inventory levels at destination, the inventory levels in the pipeline, that may increase and that may result in higher demand. But it's the change of the place of the product and not the real consumption. So if they import more this year, they may have less capacity to import next year. So the overall consumption in long terms should decide the pricing.
The next question to Ms. Vivian Patel. Madam, you said that China has developed the process to produce the sebacic acid from other oils.
Yes.
When do you expect the full production from other oils, and which oil the oil sebacic acid will be produced?
First I answer the question. This non-castor oil is produced from the bio product. And the first question that one can be full capacities. Now I think they already get the trials. It also is a success. So that is, I think, may take not much long time will become the productions. But how much maybe can be full capacity, we have to check how is the crude oil going on, how is castor oil price, as a comparison also it may be in fact, I think.
Thank you. Mr. Harish Vyas, you have also one question. Somebody said, appreciate SCI efforts in raising the productivity of castor seed. The company said, can we associate with the project as a part of the CSR activity?
Most welcome.
Welcome.
Most welcome.
Most welcome.
In fact, in my presentation, I forgot to mention that we need, voluntary donations coming in, because I mean, this is difficult time. We've not been officially able to, get commitments from people. So maybe, I mean, somebody is asking the question, giving me an opportunity to invite everybody to join the bandwagon. Please join.
This was your expected question. Anyway, one more question to Silas. Silas, can you predict how much percentage the competitive crop, like a groundnut or cotton, will impact the castor oil price and total sowing in India? So practically, you would like to know how much area will move from a castor to the cotton or a groundnut in the current Kharif season.
Yes. I have the numbers for sowing up to 15th of June from Government of Gujarat. The total sowing completed till 15th of June is 1.4 million hectares as compared to 200,000 hectares last year. So there is a sizable increase in total. If we compare groundnut, it was hardly 22,000 hectares last year till 15th. Now it is almost 650,000. So there is a sharp increase in groundnut.
No, but this is the initial because the early rain this has happened. What he want to know at the end of the season, are you expecting 10%, 15% cut in a castor area? That's his question. Yeah. At the end of the season.
I'll answer that question specifically. Castor, groundnut and cotton, that captures almost 50% of acreage in Gujarat. Any minor swing in groundnut or cotton will have a bigger swing in the small crops. So I feel castor can be as low as I have predicted, maybe around 30% lower, which will be captured by majorly by groundnut, because in groundnut they have the option to go for second crop also, for rabi crop. Groundnut as a kharif crop, that is hardly a 4-month crop, and they can go for mustard, they can go for potato, they can go for other pulses and all. So they have multiple options available. So timely rain, I think there is going to be a shift from castor to other short-term crops also. They can multiply their income.
So what effectively
Okay.
Mehta ji, what effectively Shailesh is saying, that there could be a drop of about 200 to 250,000 hectares as far as castor is concerned.
Okay, that's clear. That's exactly I wanted to answer. Now, one more information has come. This from Africa. There's one company called VR. The surface will one of the Wilmar company in Zimbabwe. They have planted about 2,000 hectare in during 2019, which was successful. And this year they are going with the 40,000 hectare. Now, my question to all the speaker, whether Africa would be a challenge for the India in the coming future. Abhay or anybody can answer this question. Whether Africa is going to challenge the India in the future?
No, I can answer that. My take in this would be, if Africa production also comes up big way, overall castor market would probably expand. The uses of castor oil would expand, and high prices have actually ensured that the usage of castor has not expanded to the level it should have. So we welcome more the merrier.
Okay. Thank you, Atulji, for this clarification. And one more question for you, Atulji. Before this is the last question. Post-COVID, what kind of innovation is imperative in the industry, and what steps are being taken to support the castor farmers during these times? How we are going to support the farmer during this COVID time? That's a question for not for you. It's for every entire industry. Yeah.
No, as a matter of fact, it's the farmer who is supporting us and not the other way around. Because agriculture is probably the only subject which is doing well in India. And you could probably see a growth of about 3.5%. So the farmer is going to be supporting us, not the other way around.
Do you have any question? Otherwise, I'll just make some announcement.
Just 1 second.
Yeah, Vivian.
Yeah, I just give some more information about that questions about the new products for non-castor oil produced sebacic acids. Okay, just I have confirmed with my office that the product from the biomass, the raw materials, and this year already produced 4,000 tons of sebacic acids already.
Oh, biomass.
Yeah, biomass, yes.
Oh,
thank
very good. Congratulations, ma'am. It's a new development here. Atulji, any other question you have, or any speaker has?
I have a question. I have a question for Vivian then. When she gives 4,000 tons of sebacic acid from biomass, my question to Vivian is Enshui Jinhua involved in this biomass production of sebacic acid?
No.
No. So it's a third company. Okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Can you put the one? See, now SCS organized this webinar. Today, after this webinar, we will be sending you the feedback forms to all the participants. Please do let us know your feedback. This will help us to improve further. Now, our next webinar is the next week on the next Friday, Future of the Palm Oil in India. And we have the very good speakers and the guests. His Excellency Mahendra Siregar, the Vice Minister of Foreign Affairs in the Government of Indonesia, and Mr. His Excellency Siddhartho, Ambassador of Indonesia at Delhi, would be our chief guest. And of course, Atulji once again will be moderating, and we have a very good question and answer with Dora Bisri, followed with we have excellent speaker from the Nasim Ali, Dr. Swati Maheswari, then Sandeep Bhan from Malaysia, Dr. Susadru, and the marketing wizard, Mr. Angsu Malik. So please note down your time. Those who are interested, please join us next Friday, the 26th June at 11:30 a.m. And we have one more announcement for you. of course, everybody knows this. SCA and the TEFLA would be hosting the Globoil India 2020. It will be this time a hybrid, physical and virtual. It will be on 30th, 31st October and 1st November. I would request those who are interested to register early to get the best early bird prices here. Next. So once again, I thank all the speakers and the participants for this webinar, and thank you very much, and God bless.
Thank you very much. Stay safe. Be positive. This will pass. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Thank you.
Stay safe.
Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Stay safe and healthy.
Bye.